Good morning, people. So I'm going to stand back here because I look like that was quite stripy. So, hello and good morning today. So I wanted to jump on and just share with you about motherhood and the journey that has taken me to this point, basically, because I don't think if I hadn't have had Hayley, I would be right where I am right now. So when we were planning to have a baby and all those things, um, I always believed that I'd be great at being a mum because I am a farmer and I've taken care of lots of babies, and I knew that how the general gist of it went. And so I really believed in the physical ability to give what to my child what she needed. So, I trusted myself on that point. What I wasn't prepared for was the mental and emotional part of having a baby. And ultimately, at the very beginning of Hayley's life, so I injured myself when I was 5 months pregnant. I was on crutches then for nearly 2 years after I had Hayley. So when Hayley was really tiny, I was really struggling with my emotional and mental health. And I, at that point, didn't really understand or know anything about mental and emotional health. Like, I don't know what happened. I did psychology at A level, but I kind of thought it didn't apply to me because I thought it meant that mental health were those people that were in padded rooms. If anybody's ever done psychology, they show you these awful films about how people were originally treated for mental health problems, electric shock treatment, um, in padded rooms, rocking, the extreme of mental health. And films, I believe, have given us this extreme of mental health. What else? Chaining people up to themselves and all these things that mental health has had this perception of. So I really didn't think that mental health was anything to do with me because I was okay, right? There was nothing wrong with me. And emotional health, well, what is even emotional health? What are emotions? Who knows? The only emotion I knew back then was anger, really. And the only one that ever seemed to get me anywhere was anger. And that was a really bad perception to have, because as Hayley started getting older and she started needing me more, I realized that I was severely lacking in the mental and emotional ability to support her. And so I therefore started on this journey of how I could become the mum that she needed me to become. So we live in this mad world, we're all living in it, and we are bringing up children in circumstances that have never been seen before. We are trying to support children um, in areas that even we don't really understand. With the what's happening on social media and technology, and how children are becoming very like in on themselves and not able to talk to people, and all these things are happening right now. And so I started to realize that in order to change, the mum I wanted to be, right then. So this, we're looking at, about the time frame was about, probably Hayley was 18 months when things started to like wind up a little bit. She was starting to push boundaries and I was getting angry, and it was bad. I hands up would say that I caused some of the mental trauma to my own daughter. And although that's a really hard pill to swallow, I swallowed it. And I decided that I would start changing things in order for her to have a different life. And so that is what I've done. And this is what gets me to this point today. So now I have Hayley. We've been through an amazing journey. I have basically, we ended up having to take her out of school because she was traumatized from both, what happened with her and I when around her birth and after her birth and stuff. But also, we lost her granny, who she loved so much, and we all loved so much. And it was a real shock to us. Um, and I didn't realize how much that had really affected her. And it hugely affected her, particularly when it came to leaving me. So she really, really struggled. So that is how we ended up taking her out of school in 2020. And I did that for self-preservation reasons. I could not take her kicking and screaming to school anymore because it just blew my mind. She needed to be with me, and I just couldn't do that anymore to her. And so from in the last 3 years, it's kind of like up leveled what I've needed to learn in order to provide Hayley with the mental and emotional support that I want to give her. Because people think that home education is all about is, learning at home, the same as what you learn at school. But our education has been about confidence, self esteem, resilience, breaking through barriers. Um, and that's both Hayley and I. So, in order for Hayley to go forward and become the amazing girl that she already is and is becoming, I needed to break through my own comfort zone, and I needed to go on the journey alongside her, essentially. And this is what has ended me up here right now coaching, because I realized that there are loads of other women out there who are in the same boat as either I have been along the steps. So you're either right at that beginning point where you literally don't know what the heck you're going to do with your child. They're showing emotional and mental, challenges, and you really don't know how to support them. Or, that place in the middle where you're like, right, I've got this, it's okay, but you're not feeling like you're thriving in your family. Your time management isn't great. So you're like, all over the place. You don't feel very present with your kids was is another big part. I wanted to be present for Hayley and for other family members as well. So this isn't just about her and I, it's about my husband, it's about my nieces and my nephews, it's about my parents. I wanted to become more present. And in order to do that, I have had to learn basically a new way of creating the life that I want. And this is where we've got to right now. So I have been designing this life that I'm living for nearly 4 years, really, where I have been like, this is what I want, and doing the steps to get there. And when I discovered neuroscience and neuroplasticity, the ability to rewire our brains, literally, I then realized that, hang on a minute, we can tap into that. And I literally could use the power of my own brain to make life simpler, to become more present, to have more energy. Oh my goodness, we all need more energy. And that is essentially what I've been doing. So if any of this has resonated with you today, then there's a couple of options. You can comment below and say, just pop in the comments family, because you would like a conversation with me, or you would like to know more about what I'm doing. Or I will also put into the comments the link for my Facebook page, which you can join. And that is a group where I'm basically creating a digital lounge. And in that lounge, I go into much more depth, probably open my heart way more than I will on here. But it's where I feel that I want to create a safe space, and I want other mums to be able to come in and share their challenges, and where they are right now and what they want their lives to look like. Like, this is the priority right now. What is it that we want for our lives? We are living life by default right now, but we can actually design it. And this is the power of rewiring your brain. It's very exciting. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you soon.